time to maximize profitability and cash flow. It's time to learn habits and hacks from the best e-com CEOs. It's time for Return on Podcast with me, Tyler Jeffcoat.
All right, guys, Tyler Jeffcoat here with Seller Accountant, and I want to talk about everyone's favorite topic, increases in Amazon FBA fees. I'm going to make this video pretty short, but I just want to, we've had a couple of months, right? Amazon released not just the inbound placement fee, a couple of months ago, but they also have added a couple of other doozies in there that we have to keep an eye on, the low inventory fees and then the return processing fees. And I guess I just want to talk briefly about the impact that these new fees are actually having on sellers. Let's talk about the one that's gotten the most attention. The inbound placement service fee is really Amazon. Guys, if we think about it, they're kind of regressing back to common sense. There are so many products that we made financially viable because we could send them to one fulfillment center and Amazon would then front the bill for the shipping, disperse that product all over the country. And then we would still get the benefits of the 2-day shipping to the customer. And so the customer had an increased conversion rate because we got the Prime benefits, but we didn't have to pay for basically warehousing, our product all over the country and the various FCs. Unfortunately, Amazon has kind of wised up to that and they are now going to charge a placement fee. It's kind of hard to get around it. And the question is, how much of a real impact is this going to have on our bottom line? Because for the, for the average small product, thinking about like 16 ounces or less, this is actually kind of a nothing burger, whether you choose the minimum shipment splits and send to a single location, or whether you do a partial shipment splits, like it is actually the same inbound shipping fee. There's no difference. Now, once you get to the kind of more moderately sized products, there is kind of I would say on average, about a 20 cent to 30 cent per unit increase in that inbound fee. Again, for the large products, it's going to be even more. It might be upwards of $1 more. And so the question is, does this kill us? I mean, if we have a low margin product, are we dead meat now? And I guess I have a little bit of good news for you. Amazon also, at the same time as they were implementing this new inbound placement fee, they lowered their standard pick and pack FBA fee by about 20 cents. So really what this means for you is if you're, 12 ounces standard package or less, or you're in that kind of medium range, you're likely to see kind of a net zero. You're going to see your inbound placement fee increase by 20 cents per unit, and you're going to see your pick and pack per unit fee decrease by 20 cents a unit. So for those products, it's kind of a nothing burger. Here's where the real pain in the ass is that because each product is a little bit different with its dimensions, what sellers are having to do now is we're actually going to have a spreadsheet and make a decision matrix for each of our ASINs about whether we choose the minimal shipment option, or we do partial shipment splits, or we use the Amazon optimized shipment, right? Because Amazon is now giving us 3 options for inbound shipments, and we're going to have to do the math to make sure that we're picking the optimal option that gives us the most relief and the least headache from the fees, right? So when it comes to the second fee that we're kind of feeling as an accounting and CFO shop, it's the one related to the low inventory fees. If your product is consistently below Amazon's threshold for having units in stock X number of days, I think it's about 4 weeks for most categories, they're going to ding us now for not having enough inventory, which feels insane to me because what was it 4 or 5 years ago where, they were doing that IPI, the inventory performance score, remember that? And they were actually dinging us for having poor velocity or having too much inventory. And now I think what Amazon's realized is that it is to their detriment. They want you to at least have a few units in different parts of the country so that they don't have to pay to ship shit across the country is basically what this is really coming from. And so it's interesting to it makes sense. Amazon is trying to limit their own logistics exposure and potentially get to where they're profitable in this FBA business model. And the result for us is that now we're threading an incredibly narrow channel. The needle is so thin to not have so many extra products in the FBA system that we're getting storage fees that kill us, while at the same time having enough product, and in fact, probably more days of inventory than we thought we needed 2 years ago. And what's amazing about this, guys, is this kind of flies in the face of the CFO advice that we've been giving over the last year. I mean, when interest rates are triple, which they're really high right now, we want to keep inventory days as low as possible across our entire system. But now Amazon's creating a little bit of an incentive to keep a little bit more inventory in the pipeline because it makes it a little bit easier for Amazon to deliver those products. And so again, for most product types, this is not going to be a gigantic impact. It is going to be felt. And I would imagine the combination of this first and second fee, they're going to give us about a 1 to 1.5% yuck factor on our overall P&L. So if you're $1 million seller, my guess is that this is a $20,000 pain in the ass that Amazon's just added to you. A third fee is the return processing fee. You guys have seen this, but just have it on your radar. If you're selling products in a category, and by the way, apparel is excluded from this, which is great because everyone returns the apparel. But if you're in a normal category and your refund rate is materially higher than the average for that category, you should start expecting an additional returns processing fee to be assessed to your account. And so, again, all of this is not a nothing burger. It's all giving us additional incentive to professionalize and manage our catalogs in a more dialed in way. We've got to smoke out quality issues more quickly so that we don't get hit with this returns processing fee. We're going to have to get a little bit better at managing the exact number of days. Our demand forecasting has just become more important so that we don't get that low inventory fee. And then we're going to have some kind of a spreadsheet or a software tool or a process for optimizing our inbound FBA shipments so that we're not getting dinged with the worst versions of this inbound placement service fee. So I'm going to end this video with that. I just want you guys to have this on your radar. I've read a couple of really good articles that I'll give shout outs to in the show notes here from some companies that did a good job on the blog work. I'll also share the URLs to a couple of Seller Central boards and articles related to this. You guys got to have this on your radar. If you need help with the calculations, feel free to reach out to us here at Seller Accountant. Thank you for watching today's video. Cheers.